It is Thursday, March 18, 2021. We've taken the show on the road. I'm down in Florida doing a PGA Tour live. This is the Early Edge powered by SportsLine. And if it's Thursday and it's March Madness, that means March Madness in the NCAA Tournament officially starts tonight with the first 4 games, and we are here for it. Let's bring in my cappers right now. And Mikey, I got to tell you, last night was my biggest bet of the year on the Bulls, and maybe the worst fourth quarter. You were on the right team. Worst fourth quarter I've seen all year in the NBA.
Yeah, that one was brutal, Coach. Led by double digits, around 15 points the entire game, 13-0 run, and got outscored by 20 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, brutal. It happens, but we got to move on. Maestro, you got to be excited. College basketball is your thing, and it all starts tonight.
Yeah, it's great. We got the first 4. We got a couple NIT, and then it all leads into Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Just can't wait. Let's do it.
And speaking of March Madness, if you want a chance to beat us, we've got the official bracket challenge right now. You can find it anywhere at CBS, and you can play against the Early Edge crew, the First Cut crew, the Pick 6 crew. We're all doing it, and we want you to be a part of it too. So come and join us and play the bracket challenge with us. Okay, let's jump into the storylines that could affect the betting lines tonight. M Square, you're up first.
All right, Coach. It's a slow slate in the NBA with only 6 games, but some pretty notable injuries here. Mike Conley's going to miss for the Utah Jazz. That's going to pave the way for a little more Jordan Clarkson against Washington, who's on the second night of a back-to-back. For the Oklahoma City Thunder, Al Horford is scheduled to return. However, they're still without Darius Blazley. Theo Maledon, Lou Dort, also questionable tonight to play. For the Atlanta Hawks in that same game, Clint Capella is questionable once again in this spot. He has sat the last 2 games. That's something to keep an eye on here tonight. For the Orlando Magic, they are still beat up big time. Cole Anthony still remains out. James Ennis is out. Aaron Gordon, Evan Fournier, Terrence Ross, all questionable to play tonight. And then head to the other side of the ball in that game. Derrick Rose, Mitchell Robinson, both still out. Elf Payton, doubtful. Emmanuel Quickly is also questionable. So both teams have a ton of injuries, a lot of moving pieces with 5 questionable players in that game tonight. For the Minnesota Timberwolves, Beasley's still out. Russell's still out. Jarrett Culver is still out. And then on the other side there for Phoenix, Cameron Johnson has been ruled out. They just acquired Torrey Craig in a trade. He will not be available to play tonight. And then finally for the Los Angeles Lakers, Alex Caruso, Marc Gasol, and Anthony Davis remain out in their matchup with the Charlotte Hornets.
And, Coach, we also had some big news in the NCAA tournament. You know, Georgia Tech coach Josh Pastner put out an official statement earlier in the week that a member of the traveling party had tested positive. It didn't specify whether it was a coach, a player, a staffer. It turned out it was the ACC Player of the Year, Moses Wright. What a blow for Georgia Tech. And we've seen this line on Loyola. Now it's all the way up to 6 in a lot of books. It started at Loyola giving 2. Felt like a toss-up game. Now Cameron Krutwig, the big guy for Loyola, should have a monster game. This line, it'd be interesting to see if it gets any higher than 6 against the ACC champs.
We have talked so much this year about how COVID could affect the NCAA tournament, but it blows my mind how one player at this time of the year can get COVID if they're handling their business, which clearly they did not, and now they've got to face the NCAA tournament, at least the first weekend, if they make it through without their best player. All right, people ask me all the time, Coach, how about giving away more year-long subscriptions to SportsLine? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do this week. Go over to Apple Podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review. In that review, tell us who you think is going to win the national championship in the next 3 weeks. On Monday morning, we'll give away 5 year-long subscriptions to SportsLine, and everybody that has won one tweets me and says, Coach, I am making so much money. I love the information. I love the cappers. I love the analysis. I love it all. We want you to win too. So go and leave that 5-star review. Okay, it's time for our board today. We're going to start with our SportsLine plays of the day. And both today are going to come from the NHL. First play, Bruins, Sabres, under 5.5 goals. This is a graded A play at SportsLine. The Sabres are last in the league in goals per game. The Bruins are 8th last in the league in goals scored. This one screams the under, and sometimes you just got to follow. You just got to follow. Our second game, the Islanders, -140 over the Flyers. This one from Matt Severance. And I had to look twice at the score from last night. The Flyers lost 9-0 to the Rangers. They are 0-7 in their past 7 as a dog. They are a dog tonight. They're about to make it 0-8. That's what Matt says, and I'm following him because he is great in the NHL. All right, time for our rest of our board. M Squared, you know the drill. Give it to me.
All right, Coach, we're going to start with the first 4 game here. It's going to be UCLA and Michigan State, and I'm going to be on UCLA here +2. Now, this is one normally I would tell you to lock in early, but I think that it might be okay to wait. I don't think we're going to see the buyback on them very strong because Michigan State is still a very public team when it comes to March Madness here. I think this number could jump to 2.5 to maybe even 3 later this afternoon here. So it's okay to pay attention, watch it, lock it in a little bit if you want. But I like UCLA here. So UCLA is actually one of the more consistent teams in college basketball. Having said that, they're not a great team, but you know what you're going to get with them, right? With Michigan State, they're a very erratic team. They have wins over some of the best teams in the country. They have some really, really bad losses. They're 1-8 against the spread when they have a longer layoff like this, like they're facing tonight. The reason for their inconsistency is they struggle offensively. Defensively, they're decent, and that is a product of playing in that Big Ten conference and that tough strength of schedule. But offensively, they have not been good. They barely rank inside the top 100. The thing that UCLA is going to do is they're going to slow the pace of this game, force them to play a half-court game. Michigan State's not going to be able to run on them and create points that way. So I really think they're going to struggle to score enough points here. I like UCLA +2, +2.5 in this spot. I make them -1.7 in my simulation. So it's a pretty meaningful edge in terms of the model there. And then my second play in the NBA, Charlotte Hornets on the road against the Lakers. I'm going to take the Hornets +8 here as we continue to look for little spots to pick on the Lakers. It did not work in the last game, unfortunately. Still like it here in the model. I make the Lakers just -5.7. We're getting 8 points here. Another thing to consider here with this game, if you like the narrative at all, you're going to get LaMelo Ball returning home to the Los Angeles area that he obviously grew up in, looks forward to things like that. I know it's not a traditional setting where we're going to have tons of fans there for him, but it is still a situation where he's going to want to play very well against LeBron there at Staples. So give me the Hornets +8.
I also think he's an absolute lock for Rookie of the Year. All right, Maestro, I know you're looking at another first 4 game tonight. What do you have?
Yeah, Coach. First, I was looking at a couple of first 4 games. Wichita State Drake is a game that I loved when Drake was +2, and I got on Drake +2. And then they announced that Tank Hemphill, the leading scorer, is going to play for Drake. At this point, though, Drake -2. It's flipped 4 points. I can't say that I love it the same way that I did. But here is a game I do love, and that's Mount St. Mary at a pick'em against Texas Southern. And you look at this contrast in style. Texas Southern plays very fast paced. They led the SWAC in points. They have a great player in Michael Weathers, but Mount St. Mary's plays the slowest pace in the nation except for Virginia. And they also have 3 starters, 6'8" or bigger, who are not going to let Weathers just get to the rim like he likes to do. And they also have a great point guard, a 5'8", 145-point guard, Damian Chong-Kui. If you have a chance, read about this personal story. It's very emotional. But on the court, this kid controls the pace, averaging over 5 assists, 15 points a game. He hit the big 3 to beat Bryant in the championship game, had 21 in that game. I think he had 8 rebounds and 6 assists. I just love watching this kid play, and I think they'll control the pace and win the game outright. And then going to the NBA, one prop, yesterday we had a plus money prop that cashed at the very last second. So this time we're going with a favorite prop, Chris Paul under 5.5 rebounds. They're playing the Timberwolves. They're laying 10. It could be a blowout. He could sit the whole fourth quarter. But even if he does play a full game, he's only gone over this number once this whole month. He's trending down. He was averaging about 5 rebounds last month. This month is down to about 4.2. The number is 5.5. You do have to lay the juice, -140, but I'm going under Chris Paul rebounds.
I'm okay with that. And last night, rarely do you win a prop bet like we did last night. Shot goes up, the ball's in the air, 3-2. James Harden grabs it with 1 second to go, and that cashes the ticket for us. You never know. Never say die. Hopefully that doesn't happen tonight as Chris Paul grabs a late rebound. All right, we are up against it. Grab your paper. Grab your pencil. Thank you, Greg. We appreciate it. Here's the recap. M Squared, he's on UCLA in one of the first 4 games tonight against Michigan State. You're getting 2. That's a 9:57 approximate tip in that one. Then also the Hornets playing in LA. LaMelo Ball has been terrific. I think he will be motivated tonight. So does Mike, +8 against the Lakers. Then the Maestro. He is on Mount St. Mary's. Pick him against Texas Southern. That's a 5-10 Eastern tip. And then Chris Paul, 10 Eastern, playing for the Suns, under 5.5 rebounds. You're laying some juice, but that's okay. And our SportsLine plays of the day, both from the NHL. Bruins Sabres under 5.5, and then the Islanders will add to the pain of the Flyers. -140, take them over Philadelphia tonight. That is 6 plays. You know. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all these tickets straight to the pay window. For M Squared, for the Maestro, for Chiefs. By the way, that UCLA game is our Chiefs dog of the day. And for Greg, don't call him Gary, our producer. I am the coach. Let's have a great day. Is there anything better than March Madness? We say no. Remember, this is the only place, whether we're on the road or in the studio, for your daily Early Edge. Good luck.